that you need to break yourself up if you want to speculate.
Get right back to
Now, if we take a look at
ineffective speculators. Another thing they do, they buy cheap stuff. I'm back, and I got 5 more bad habits that you need to break yourself up if you want to speculate like a pro.
Let's get right back to
Ineffective speculators. Another thing they do, they buy cheap stocks because they assume everything.
Cliche is that if you don't
natural
learn
gas,
how,
those are not
you're
specific, right?
bound
Not
to
to say
repeat.
those are
Let
natural
me
resources.
take you back
So
a
with
little
everybody,
bit.
and you now have the Bank of
Essentially
Japan,
between
England, America,
1914
Chinese
and
apparently
1920, we
loosening
had
up
bank
everybody
deposits
is now
double the size.
loosening the
So
money
we had
supply, printing money.
Hi, I'm Max Kaiser. This is the Kaiser Report.
throughout the First World War. We also had a relatively low discount rate. The interest rate where banks borrowed from the federal government. It was a lot more important back to
The shortages of nearly all commodities developing and I'm going to make money in the commodities. If the world economy does get better, it's been a lot more money. Place to be in warehouse.
I was just saying, I told you this has been happening for weeks. All we do is search stuff online. And we use several different search engines, but start pages stuff just processes through. And if someone in the world is watching us, right, we hope they take their videos of us learning that they're being poisoned by our searches. And saying they're killing us. Of course they can't have me on here dominant. And I'm dominating all over the web now. We're being censored everywhere.
Everything in the world
I have confirmed, and people are
maybe the US dollar will go up initially, but probably everything would be hit in the shock that made the oil. So I own gold. I'm not selling my gold.
The crash of Lehman Brothers. It was a discussion on my side of the former chancellor.
And what the Fed is doing is simply guaranteeing that
Most people don't understand
the 0% interest rates prevent.
And perhaps you know Venus Project, you know the Free Gold Charter organization, you know perhaps the books and the stories of Gene Roddenberry, Star Trek, where we live in the world without money. I can tell you it is possible. But the problem we are facing is how can we get there? And all that we have to know is it happens in our minds. We have to push the right switches and then we will find the path.
Okay, so let's get started. It's Monday, first trading day this week, the 14th, Monday 2012. By the way, it's 10:39 New York time, or Toronto, or for example 16:39 in Europe, Stuttgart, Frankfurt, Brussels. Excuse me, Zurich, for example, or even 15:40 in England. By the way, we are trading here a little bit more than 1 hour in the equities opened in America a little bit lower, of course, and we are 1 hour before European will close. Yes, 79.58 is the price for the Australian Japanese yen. So let's analyze the stuff. It's still yours. Okay, how to trade this cross trade? By the way, perhaps you remember last week I've made an holiday week. I need time. Need to spend my time for another things. However, here we are back on court, and we see here we are still in a slightly or pretty downside trend. So let me stay at first or at once. I will still prefer the short side on this cross trade, but perhaps we can buy or we can sell Australian dollar yen at higher prices. So let's get a little bit back, zoom back here. We see as this trend started, here, yeah, this was the first or yeah, from the week before, yes, was the sell opportunity. And what I want to say is here we are still here down under this trend channel. So, and we've got here last week, middle of the week here and end of the week, something like and how do you say in English? Not the same scenario, but it seems like the same stuff here. So, and the reason why, and if I'm pained here, so I'm pained here, also lines, sideways trend, downside trend, and here an upside trend. And I would, yes, we started here in the equities in New York, so it's usually very wild, and the start and the end, of course, in the middle too. So while US trading, it's always very volatile, of course. But I would, I would still prefer the short side. Why? Here we see the high and lows of last week, here. And the lows, and we see here we traded here before, or as I started to create this video, we touched here new lows, new lows, day lows and weekly lows, of course, and perhaps we come back here at the lows of last week, so, and perhaps a little bit higher. So I'm painted here, and here the reason, the lows of last week, here the downside trend of Thursday and Friday. So, and I'm hoping to catch, to sell, as I said, I hope to sell the cross rate at higher prices, and I would prefer here at first and proudly, or slightly, yes, proudly, here at this level, at the 80 level. So, okay, 50 pips is many. Perhaps we don't get this in the next 48 hours or this week. However, what I want to say is, don't, if you agree with me or want to sell Australian dollar Yen, don't sell in the, how to say, don't sell blindly. Yes, so wait and see. The cross rate will be tomorrow, yes, every second tradable. So yes, technically here we see the lows of last week, we see the upside trend from Thursday, Friday, and we see here the slightly upside trend on Friday. So, and I'm hoping here that we can catch here proudly here, of course, perhaps at weekly lows of last week, perhaps. So, and if we are going higher, I would start to sell the downside. So I don't accepting higher prices. So this week in this cross rate from the technical view. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Very warm outside and very fresh here in my office. However, so I've got a little bit, how to say, temperature, body temperature cross, if you want, inside and outside. However, okay, I would still prefer the downside or the bearish side in this cross rate, because I don't see any reason for a turnaround in the Australian dollar slightly for the next 48 hours or perhaps this week. So slightly sell Australian dollar and slightly buy Japanese yen, and cross rate by cross rate. So another cross rate, by the way, Australian dollar, West dollar, and Australian or US dollar, Japanese yen. I'm not I don't see so much potential like even Australian dollar yen and Euro yen. So I would in my German edition I I wrote or created also an slightly sell signal. So I saw opportunity much more to sell the crossrail than buy. Interesting, of course, are not only the FIBO lines here this week, perhaps the pivot points. So here I'm created. Okay, let me say basically, but the pivot points always a problem wherever you are. So if you're in Australia, here for example, from New York over the world to Sydney, Wellington. So where you are, the daily pivot point, daily pivot points. So slowly, and here I'm painting here the Australian from the Sydney time, 24 hours. So we are Sydney right here right now on Tuesday ahead, and here we see also the weekly pivot. So I would here we say the R1 on Tuesday started to create a new one here, and I would it will be the best, or how to say, the Goldilocks scenario, how to say in English, yes, here from better here from come back, and then I would still prefer to sell Australian dollar Jan, so by the trend. So okay, here the same stuff with the US dollar. Of the US dollar, of course, we are here in the morning, here afternoon in Europe, and here we see we are trading here the daily pivot is here round about 80. So that would be what or is how do you say in English, is an ad for my view, or one another reason in my opinion to sell Australian dollar Jan at higher prices, not here, but of course who knows. So, but I would still prefer the short side in this cross rate for the next 48 hours, perhaps until the week. We will see. It's yours to take stops, of course. That's your job, or even a job of a trader, short-term trader, by the way, of course. Trading chart or the technical analysis here. So I would wait and at higher prices, perhaps here at the lows of last week, 78, 72, or here round about 80. I would prefer to sell Australian dollar Japanese yen. So here let's zoom a little bit. So we see in the last 10-15 minutes we've got here something like a turnaround. So here last 20 minutes. So, and perhaps here we can catch here between the half day or quarter day 72. So at the 72 and daily line here. So we can catch here perhaps the cross rate. So however, don't forget to stop, analyze this stuff, of course. Again, it's still yours. My name is still Daimer from good old Germany, and you're welcome, of course, to watching my FM Signals info shows daily while Wall Street session. By the way, I'm creating here new stuff. At the end of the video I will give you a citation, how to say in English, yes, citation of one trader. So I want to give you stuff and send you with a citation in your trading day, in your trades. So watch and listen the info the next 3-4 minutes, and then the citation. So thanks guys ahead for spending your time watching my videos.
Well, there are problems in America. The Americans have to deal with the debt situation, and the fact that the U.S. was downgraded had an impact on consumer sentiment, as we saw in the latest numbers of this. Now, but you have to realize the United States is very much much of the GDP that is produced in the U.S. is consumed internally. When you look at the amount of exports and imports relative to GDP, it's relatively small in the United States. And you have to understand is that most
and the money flows into one aspect and then into another one. Probably that they are all at the same time.
And when I say you weren't breastfed, and I put this out before, people, a lot of them get mad and say, well, no, I wasn't breastfed. You don't get the fats you need for brain growth in the first year and a half without the milk that the female mammal, Homo sapiens sapien, produces. See, those breasts are for a reason. They're designed to feed you. Now, my mother breastfed me till I was 18 months old. I've got a big brain, okay? I got my full development.
America's already paying for it. The idea that they're still paying things to AAA credit and they may lower it is just absurd. These select rating agencies have been wrong about nearly everything for the past 10 or 15 years. The U.S. is in terrible trouble. Congressmen should be worried about that.
Working, that we're finally getting growth, that we're creating jobs, that we've turned the corner, that we've seen the light at the end of the tunnel. Pretty soon people are going to realize that that's not a light, it's the proverbial oncoming train. The U.S. economy is not getting better at all. In fact, most people are sicker than ever before, and all the Fed can do is keep interest rates at zero indefinitely, pretend there's no inflation, even as it's about to rage out of control,
and the stories
and trying to justify keeping the economy on life support, which
I can tell you it is possible. But the problem we are facing is how we get there. And all that we have to know is it happens in our minds. We have to push the right switches, and then we will find the path. I will give you some hints and clues how to do it on your side.
Just what it's doing.
First of all,
it's a monster.
The biggest most people
in the U.S. economy is that rates are too low. Interest rates are too low. We're never going to have a real recovery until interest rates rise.
Public spending, state
Interest rates
debt,
rise. We're going to have a short-term problem that results from the enormity of our debt. Our banks are going to suffer. Our government's going to suffer because it can't pay its bills. The housing market's going to suffer. We're going to have a short-term contraction, a lot of pain as we go to the bubble economy, the real economy, but for political reasons, the Fed doesn't want that. So the Fed is resisting the cure by making the disease worse, and eventually we're going to suffer that much more when interest rates
loans from banks,
then we're going to wipe out the dollar completely. Inflation. Let's say it's
created by lending it out.
What if the Japanese see 3% interest rate? And a strong yen would reduce the cost of those imports and would help the
because when banks grant a loan, the money doesn't exist beforehand. It's not existing.
What's driving the trade
deficit in thin air, but then the banks want it back with interest, and this is the problem, because they never invent the money for interest. In the beginning, all the time, sometimes years ago, people used cattle or sheep, and then if they lend a herd, they return it to the corn calves. Natural interest grows on itself, and I think we can return that. But if we use gold coins, paper money, they don't get so banks only create the money of the loan and never the money to pay interest, and this is where the problems start, because the money for the interest doesn't exist in our money volume. So this is the root of the so-called competition in the real economy. We have to fight against each other, take away money from each other, to give it back.
I mean, if you go to the 2008 period, you find out later that Paulson, thanks to a huddle with the insiders on Wall Street, told folks that the government was going to be bailing out these institutions, printing money to do so. Banks all tripled and quadrupled during that period of time, based on a huddle between Hank Paulson, Congress, and Wall Street. And billions of dollars were siphoned out of the economy and put into the pockets of a few folks who used most of that money to pass laws to make it easier to commit the same crimes over and over again.
Yes, those huddles you were talking about with St. Paul's, and they were actually all, we met with
Okay, traders. In the end, before I give you a citation, send you for the next until the next video with a citation. Let's shortly explain my FM signals. By the way, here bulls and bear. It's always the question, of course, buy or sell. And when I'm saying I would here in this case today, Australian dollar yen, I would prefer the short side of case. We have cycles, intraday cycles, but I'm talking about trends. So, and that's how we make money at the forex. Of course, cycles, trends, and news flows also put it in a context. And I'm always talking about trends. And today, in this context, Australian dollar yen. So don't understand me wrong, by the way. Okay, the citation today is: if you want to talking, you must have something to say. Von Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, old German famous philosopher, by the way. And yes, that's the point. Not only in the trading business or forex business, in which sector you are working, so you can put or put the people in in peoples who don't want to talking and don't want to say something. So yes, we don't need to talk and say something about these peoples. So, and then there are people, of course, who wanna talking but don't have something to say. So stay aware, take response for what you're thinking and doing. By the way, very dangerous, cause yes, these people are in the end always talking blah 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 and don't break it down, don't come to a point, send you in the time space if you want, in the world room if you want, and in the end stealing your time, stealing your space, and at the forex stealing your money. So that's the reason that's the reason why I'm always saying stay aware and take response, by the way. So, and then there are people, of course, who want to talk and have something to say and can't say it, try to speak out. Sometimes I'm in English, yes, in English I find myself in this category. However, and always try to break it down and say that the best, of course, and that's what we all should have, or that should be the ambition of areas, not always while the forex trading, in whatever job or whatever you're doing. So try to talk always, or when you have something to say. And yes, that's the, how to say in English, the message. So if you want to talking, you must have something to say. So if you want to something say, let's talk. And I'm thinking I'm talked enough for today. So traders, thank you for watching my video, spending your time. My name is still Damian from good old Germany. It's Monday, the 14th May 2012, and it's 11:09 in the morning in New York, Monday morning, and send you with this citation from Johann Wolfgang von Goethe to my next video edition tomorrow. So take care, take response, analyze the stuff again. It's still yours. Bye bye traders. Talking to you tomorrow while Thursday or Tuesday trading session at Wall Street.